Yo, what's going on, guys? My name's Noah, and welcome back to another NBA video. Today we're going to take a look at the Tuesday NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo. We're going to talk about some of my favorite plays on both sides, talk through this 6-game slate. Like always, though, before we do get started with the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would drop a like down below. That always is helpful. Likes and comments help me reach my videos out to more people. So make sure you drop a like. Be sure to comment as well. Feel free to leave any comments regarding this slate, or if you just have questions in general. You can also leave any feedback as well. Feedback's always greatly appreciated, guys. Whether it's positive or negative, always appreciate you guys' feedback. Also, if you are new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. Click the notification bell as well, so that way you get notified every time I upload. You'll never miss out on any of my new videos. All you guys out there that are subscribed with notifications on, just want to let you guys know that I greatly appreciate that. I greatly appreciate those that really support me. It really does mean a lot, more than you know. So let's go ahead and take a look at today's slate. Just before we do that, I do want to cover some of the injuries we need to watch heading into Tuesday. I am recording this video on Monday night, so these are some of the key injuries that I see looking at this slate on Monday night. So first off, one of the big ones is Trae Young. Right now he is questionable heading into this slate. This is a big one as it greatly impacts a lot of the Hawks starters. DeAndre Bembry came off the bench last game, which was very surprising with Trae Young out. He did come off the bench, but he still really benefited from Trae Young being out. He played, I believe, almost 30 minutes off the bench. I think he played 28 minutes, finished with like 46 DraftKings points. He did get priced up a lot on DraftKings. He's very expensive. He's like in the mid-5Ks today. So I don't know if he would be like a smash play, but would definitely be a guy that would at least be in consideration if Trae Young is out. John Collins would obviously benefit just taking Trae Young off the floor. A high-usage player like Trae Young is going to benefit John Collins. He should definitely be able to put up big numbers with Young out. Cam Reddish as well. He was the guy that started at point guard over Bembry, which is pretty surprising. They did start Reddish at point, so if Reddish starts again at point guard, he would definitely be a guy you could look to. I think he's still pretty cheap on DraftKings, under 5K. Jabari Parker as well, coming off the bench, I think is really going to benefit from Trae Young being out. We did see that in the last game. He played I think the most minutes he's played so far this season with the Hawks. I believe he played 26 minutes in that game against the Heat. Had like 35 or 36 DraftKings points. I believe he is still 5K or below on DraftKings. I think he's in the mid-4s. So all those guys would see boost if Trae Young is out today. So that's definitely some news we're going to need to watch as the day goes on Tuesday. Domantas Sabonis, also a very big injury we're going to need to watch on Tuesday. Sabonis, if he plays here, should definitely smash in this matchup. It's a great spot for the Pacers facing the Hornets. The Hornets have been terrible against big men this season. We've seen some big men have crazy good games against the Hornets. I know Cat went off against them to start off the season. I would expect a big game from Sabonis if he plays today, but if he is out, the big beneficiary would be Goga Bitadze. I don't even know if that's how you say his name, but he is the backup center for the Pacers. He's already, I do believe he started when Sabonis was out in their last game. He was already seeing pretty solid run off the bench. Just the last 2 games he played, I believe he's played 26 and 20 minutes. And the game he played 20 minutes, it was because he fouled out. So he would be a really smash value. I do want to talk about him later in the video because I think he's going to be a good play regardless. But Goga would benefit. I think Jeremy Lamb, T.J. Warren, and Malcolm Brogdon would all benefit as well. Just because taking Sabonis off the floor, Sabonis is a guy that does take a decent amount of shots. He does rebound well. So those rebounds, those shot attempts are probably going to go to other guys like Lamb, Warren, and Brogdon. So those guys would benefit as well. TJ Leaf we saw have a big game, but I don't think I want to go to TJ Leaf, especially not on DraftKings. He's all the way up to 5K. That's probably not someone I'm going to be looking to. And then the last 2 big injuries we need to watch, Justice Winslow. He's questionable. Winslow being out, that would benefit Jimmy Butler, Kendrick Nunn, and Tyler Hero. Those would be the 3 guys I would want to target if Winslow is out today. All of them are pretty expensive though on DraftKings. Like Nunn's up to $5,700, I think. Hero's like $5,800, almost 6K. I know Jimmy Butler's still really expensive, so those guys probably wouldn't be core plays, but they would definitely at least come into my consideration if Winslow sits. Then lastly, Steven Adams. This is a big one as well because if Steven Adams is out today, then Nerlens Noel would be a top value play. He's still really cheap on DraftKings. I think he's $4,400 on today's slate. So definitely keep an eye on that Adams news. I will definitely be playing a ton of Nerlens Noel if Steven Adams is out. But that's it for all the key injuries. There's definitely more of it are out there today. Like I think Will Barton's questionable, but I just don't consider that a key injury because even if Will Barton's out, that's not really going to have much of an impact. Like Torrey Craig will get the start, but I don't want to play Torrey Craig. Maybe you see Gary Harris get a slight boost, but these are kind of like the big four injuries that we're targeting or that we're keeping an eye on so far heading into Tuesday. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of my favorite plays today. Starting off at the top where I usually like to start, LeBron James, definitely one of the studs I'm looking to on the slate. Point guard, small forward on DraftKings, 9,600. On Yahoo, he's $50, and I believe he's power forward on Yahoo, which is pretty surprising. But this is a slate where we are really lacking stud options. Between the few that we have, we got LeBron, AD on this slate. Obviously, you do have Trae Young, maybe, if he's able to play. You do have Nikola Jokic, but in a tough matchup against the Heat. I believe there's other guys priced up there as well, but between the stud options, the like 4 or 5 guys at like 9K and above, LeBron's definitely my favorite. He's the one that stands out to me at 9,600 on DraftKings. I think both him and Anthony Davis are probably the two best studs to target on this slate. They're in a very good spot here. The Bulls are not a good basketball team. They're not a good defense. I don't expect them to have an answer for LeBron or AD. These guys should be able to get whatever they want in this matchup. As long as this game does stay competitive and you get the full minutes for LeBron and Davis, they should both be able to return value on these salaries. 9,600 for LeBron is just way too cheap. I mean, the guy, even at this point in his career, even in his 14th or 15th season, he's still playing 36, 38 minutes a night if the game is competitive. Like I said, that's going to be something that, is a question. Will this game stay competitive? It is being played in Chicago, at home in Chicago. The Bulls are at home, so maybe that helps keep the game competitive. If it does stay close, you probably get 36 minutes out of LeBron. So far this season, I mean, he's given you like a floor of 40 fantasy points. He feels like a really, really solid cash play today. LeBron lately has shown a ceiling as well. We saw him go for 90 DraftKings points against the Mavericks. I mean, the dude can still get it done. He can still go for 30, 10, and 10. He's got that kind of upside in him. So love paying up for LeBron James. He's going to be the primary ball handler as well. Forgot to mention that. Rondo's still out, so LeBron's going to be the primary point guard. Obviously, that gives him plenty of upside for assist. So LeBron, one of my favorite plays at the top today. But now a value play. Did talk about him during the injuries part. Goga Bitadze, power forward center on DraftKings. He's $4,000. On Yahoo, he is minimum salary. So right now, we do already know that Miles Turner is doubtful, so he's unlikely to play today, which will definitely benefit Goga. But if Sabonis is out, that's going to really make Goga a top value play. Sabonis being out really thins the Pacers at center. Even without Miles Turner, that already puts them down a big man, but missing Turner and Sabonis is going to really thin them down. They're going to be down to like Goga and TJ Leaf are going to have to play pretty big minutes. Goga's a guy that has a lot of upside. We've seen in the few games where he's actually gotten decent minutes this season, he's been able to put up pretty solid lines. He played like 26 minutes one game, had like 28 DraftKings points. Last game he played like 19 or 20 minutes, but he fouled out in 19, 20 minutes and still had like 27 DraftKings points in that limited amount of time. So this is a guy that can give you over a point per minute, has a ton of upside, a good rebounder, can block shots as well. And big men versus the Hornets, this is a matchup that we have been targeting all season. This is a great matchup for Goga. Like I did say at the beginning, if Domantas Sabonis is able to play today, I do think he is a really good play, especially if like the Sabonis news doesn't come out till like close to lock and he's still listed as questionable on DraftKings. You'll probably get Sabonis very low owned on the slate. I'm sure we'll get more news about the situation after shoot-around probably, so then we'll know. But regardless, I think Goga's a top value, especially with Turner being out. If Sabonis is out, then he's just an even better play. It definitely stands out as one of the better value plays on this slate. And there really aren't many. I'm just looking at this slate the night before. There's not a lot of standout value that really catches my eye. But next play we're going to talk about is a value that I do like under 5K on DraftKings. Power forward and center, Meyers Leonard, $4,500 on DraftKings, $12 on Yahoo. So I really like Leonard here as he's been seeing very solid minutes lately. Been getting minutes in the upper 20s just the last few games. The production has also been good as well. He's been very productive lately, been very consistent. Seen over like 28 DraftKings points in consecutive games. He also does have a game with like 36 DK points as well. This is a matchup where I do expect Leonard to play plenty just due to the fact that the Nuggets play really big. They're always going to have one of Nikola Jokic, Paul Millsap, or Mason Plumlee on the floor at all times. One of those three guys is usually going to always be on the floor. They do start Jokic and Millsap alongside each other. And then when those guys come out of the game, you're going to see Mason Plumlee come in the game, Jeremy Grant will come in the game. So the Nuggets are a team that play really big. I think this is a spot where we can see Meyers Leonard get to 30 minutes. I mean, he's already been playing upper 20s in minutes. Would not be surprising at all if he gets over 30 minutes here. One of the reasons he's been putting up big games recently is because he's been very efficient, which obviously that's going to regress. He's not going to knock down 60 to 80% of his shots every game. But still, if a guy's going to get 30-plus minutes at this price tag, especially a guy like Leonard that can stretch the floor, can shoot threes, can rebound, it just gives you so much upside at these salaries. So really like Meyers Leonard as another value play at either power forward or center today, under 5K on DraftKings. But the next guy we're going to take a look at, Jeremy Lamb, shooting guard and small forward, $6,100 on DraftKings, $22 on Yahoo. So I definitely have some interest in Jeremy Lamb here in a revenge game. This is his first time heading back to Charlotte to face the Hornets. Obviously, Lamb was on the Hornets last season. Now he's on the Pacers, so a revenge spot for Lamb here. I do take revenge games into account more for NBA than any other sport, especially when a player goes back to the old team's place. Like, it's not like Lamb's playing at home and Charlotte's coming to him. He's going back to Charlotte, so they're probably going to cheer for him when he gets announced, or they're going to boo him regardless. Maybe you see Jeremy Lamb get a little bit hyped up for this game. Regardless of the narrative, though, I think Lamb's been playing very well recently, and just due to the Pacers being so thin right now on scoring options, we know Miles Turner's most likely going to miss this game. Domantas Sabonis could potentially miss as well. Lamb's got to really step up here. He's been doing it recently. He's got a great matchup. The minutes have been there for Jeremy Lamb as well. He's pretty much locked into 30-plus minutes every night as long as the game stays close. I know he's played over 30 minutes in like the last 3 games. Been very consistent as well. So I really like Jeremy Lamb on both sides today, especially if Sabonis sits. I think that will be a slight boost to Jeremy Lamb. That's just more shots to go around. Sabonis was also a pretty solid rebounder, so not having Sabonis out there to rebound, maybe you see Lamb pick up a few more rebounds as well. Plus, you add the revenge game on top of it. I think Jeremy Lamb, a very solid play today. But next, we're going to look at LaMarcus Aldridge, power forward and center on DraftKings, $6,800 over on Yahoo. He's at $31. So although the Hawks haven't been playing as fast this season to start off, I was looking at pace stats. The Hawks are actually like sort of middle of the pack so far this season in pace, which is kind of surprising since they were one of the fastest paced teams in the league last season. I do still expect them to play very fast this season, just the rest of the season, especially when Trae Young is healthy. Not having Trae Young out there right now, they're not going to play as fast as they normally do. But when Trae Young's fully healthy, we know he's going to push the ball up the floor. So the Hawks should be a fast-paced team rest of season, especially when Young gets healthy. But then you look at their defensive rating as well, and their defensive rating, they've just been middle of the pack in defensive rating so far this season. But again, I don't really expect this team to be very good defensively. They were not a good defensive team last year, so I don't expect them to be really good defensively this season, even though in defensive rating so far they're just middle of the pack. They'll probably be towards the bottom of the league as we get towards the end of the season. So this is a good matchup for Aldridge. I do like a lot of Spurs here. I think DeMar DeRozan will finally have a good game eventually. I mean, he's still pretty expensive on DraftKings. He's like over 7K. So I don't know if he'll be a core play for me, but I'll definitely have some interest in him if I'm making multiple lineups. I would have a lot of interest in Dejounte Murray, but he just doesn't get the minutes right now. They're limiting him to 23, 24 minutes. And although he's actually still putting up big games in that limited amount of time, it's just hard for me to play Dejounte Murray at nearly 7K when he's only going to play like 24 minutes, even if he is really productive in that amount of time. But LaMarcus Aldridge I do like a lot at $6,800 and $31. Aldridge, you just look at the game log, it's not very pretty recently. He's got a lot of low-scoring games in his game log, so maybe people will shy away from him. Maybe we'll get Aldridge low-owned. If that's the case, I think he's a very good option, especially for tournaments. This price tag is $6,800. It seems very likely that Aldridge could go for 6X today. I know at this day and age in NBA DFS, 6X isn't everything, but getting a guy go for over 40 DraftKings points for a 7K, that's pretty good value at that salary. So I do like LaMarcus Aldridge quite a bit. Also really like that you can play him at power forward or center on DraftKings. Not just eligible at one position. You do have a lot of flexibility there. But now the last guy we're going to take a look at is Tristan Thompson. Only center eligible on DraftKings. He's $7,100 on Yahoo. He's $28. So losing Al Horford really hurts this Boston team down low and their ability to defend big men. I do expect Tristan Thompson to have a solid game here. I think Kevin Love's going to have a solid game as well. Both of these guys have been playing very well recently for the Cavs, And the Cavs, so far this season, haven't really been as bad as I would have thought, especially with how well Love and Thompson have been playing. These two guys have just kind of been carrying this offense. And right now it seems like the Cavs are pretty set on playing Tristan Thompson heavy minutes every night as long as the game does stay close. So far this season, in every game he's played at least 30 minutes. I'm not sure if there's been any blowouts this season, but just looking at the game log, we've gotten 30 or more minutes from Tristan Thompson in every game this season. He's been very productive this season as well, been grabbing a lot of boards. He's just been very consistent overall for fantasy. This was something we didn't see much of last season, towards the end at least. We did see towards the end of the last season, Thompson had some big games with the Cavs, but so far, I mean, he's been putting up almost an average of 40 DraftKings points on a nightly basis. So getting him at this price tag, for these price tags, 7,100, 28, does make him a really good play at the center position, in my opinion. And with Nikola Jokic kind of being in a really tough matchup, I don't think I'm going to be looking to pay up at center. I'm probably going to be targeting either Thompson or Aldridge or Meyers Leonard. You can play here for value. Nerlens Noel could maybe be a value if Adams is out. I think Goga is center eligible as well. So there's a lot of options to go to aside from the top plays. I think in that mid-range, Thompson makes a lot of sense. Should have plenty of success in this matchup. I don't really expect Robert Williams or Daniel Tice to be able to stop Tristan Thompson, especially on the boards. Tristan Thompson, a really good rebounder, a really good offensive rebounder as well, and that is something that I expect the Celtics to struggle with, not having Al Horford out there. So really like Tristan Thompson here. I think he's a really good play at the center position. But that's it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. If you'll notice on the screen right now, I do have one of my more recent videos popping up on the screen. If you want to check that video out, you can also hover over my YouTube logo to subscribe to the channel. Feel free to do that if you have not already. And as always, you can leave comments, questions, and feedback down below in the comment section. That's always greatly appreciated. But good luck tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.